All right. So what can they do for you? For sellers, I mean, they can make phone calls for you. They can call for flex options. They can pre-screen the sellers for you. They can run the comps for you. They can negotiate with the seller for you. Okay. They can get contract signs. They can get option signs, flex option signs. They can do all of that because they have access to phone and fax just like we do. Okay. With technology the way it is now, I mean, they have everything that we need. They have fast internet too. Oh, that's another thing. The internet connection of someone who works from home is not as good as when they work for in an office. And so when you hire them yourself and they work from home, you're going to run into more connection problems. Sometimes they don't have the internet at all, or sometimes they don't have electricity because depending on where they live, there's schedule outages like a few times a month. And so when there's power outage, then you can't contact them at all. So that's the disadvantage of them working from home. Generally, in an office, then you can get like T1 line. You can get much better line, and the office building has generators. So if the power goes out, there's the generator that will run, and so the reliability is much better. For a long time, I had them work from home, but because of those issues, we moved into an office building, and so now it's like so much better. Like if I knew that it was that drastic of a difference, I would have went with the office building from the very beginning. Okay. For buyers, same thing. They can call buyers, they can email buyers, they can pre-screen buyers. They can pre-screen buyers. What else? They can do virtual showings. What that is this. Let's say you have a sign in front of a house for sale, and a buyer drives by and calls on the sign and says, "Hey, I want to look at this house." Then your virtual assistant can take that call and say, "Yeah, well, let me tell you about the house. How much money what's the most you have to put down for this property? What's the most you can pay per month?" They walk them through the house like over the phone, so they can do all of that. So that way you don't have to personally meet up with the buyers. Okay. They can negotiate with the buyers for you. Depending on how much you train them, they can do all of that. Like if you're into short sales, I haven't done this yet, but if I really wanted to have a team over there that does nothing but negotiating short sales and negotiating forbearance and negotiating loan modification, they can do all of that. I just need one person, like for short sales, I just need one person on the ground to do the BPO, and that's it. Okay, it's just, I don't care so much for that, so they're not.
Tim, when you hire the virtual assistant, do you pay the individual or you pay the company who find those virtual assistant for you?
If you go through the individual, then you pay them straight to the individual. If you go through a company, then you pay through the company, because the company will provide them with an office space, a cubicle, a computer. So you pay to the company, and the company pays them.
Okay. And the amount you pay them, like $800 to $1,200 a month, is it limited to certain hours per week?
Depending on that company, they most companies anyways, their hours are the same hours that we work here. So from 9 to 6 or 8 to 5. And if you have special needs, they might adjust that for you if they have that, if they're open that time. But so for the Philippines, it's nighttime for them. So they're working Well, now that our time changed, we're in standard savings now. So right now they are 14 hours ahead of Central Time Zone. So what that means is it's 5:20 a.m. their time right now, Monday morning. And so like for my staff, they work from, well, we just extended our hours now, but they used to anyways work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central. But you can change that all the time. So because because of what happened with our promotion that happened a month ago, we have extended hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Saturday. So we have two shifts. So that way one person is not working 12 hours. Yeah.
So if the company find a VA for you, do they train them to do all this, or you have the chance to train them?
You train them. Most of these companies, they just say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna find somebody for you," and that person is generic. They don't belong to real estate. There's no one niche that they know how to do, and you train them. Or you like in my case, I give them access to my e-course and I tell them to watch it, and I tell them to flow chart it out, kind of like that blueprints that all of you have. I didn't create that. My virtual assistant did. So they watch my videos and they break that down.
What number are they calling? I mean, are they calling the buyers, are they calling Philippines or
Oh, no, we'll talk about phone numbers next, but it's a local number. Oh, you have to leave? Oh, yeah. There's different phone system, but it's a local number to whatever area code you want. Most phone companies now will allow you to select your area code. Even Skype, or I'm going to talk about ViaTalk, which is a voice over IP phone system. And you just pick the area code. So like for my staff, the area code is either 281 or 713 most of the time, because that's the area code here in Houston. So like if you guys get a phone call and it shows Tim Ma on your call ID, it's not my personal. It's not my personal line.
I'm getting it.
I'm getting it. Question?
I'll go first. The virtual agent, what form of payment do you have to pay them in? Can you pay by credit card, or do you pay by international wire?
I think payment is the next slide.
I don't see you having the time to train your staff in the Philippines. Do you have somebody in the Philippines that's able to train them in your system that we have access to?
Oh, what do you mean that you have access to?
Is there a VA over there that knows your system that we can get in contact with that person to train them so they can come aboard, kind of hit the ground running?
That's a really, really good question. I do have somebody, but I do not offer them out as a service. Yeah, but you're right. I train. What happened was this: when I trained them through the videos, and then when I had a chance to go to the Philippines last time, I trained them in person. And then I found the best person that understood what I was teaching them the most. I made that person becomes the trainer to train the other ones. But yeah, a couple of people that I have on staff, they're real estate agents over there, so they understand real estate pretty well. So it's just a matter of they don't understand flex options, of course. They don't understand what it is that I do. So when they're learning my course. It's not that foreign to them, they can understand it. So that could be something you might want to consider. Try to tell these companies to find a real estate agent for you.
I had two comments, but the first one wasn't really a question so much as I really love the clarity on those flow charts. Whoever did that, just tell them they did a great job.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And then my other thing was a question, though. I was wondering, as far as software, does the company or the virtual assistant have the software, or is it up to the employer, as in us, to provide software, or is it kind
What
of
kind of
hybrid?
software you're talking about? I mean,
You know,
if
like
you-
Microsoft Word or
Then
certain
they
things
have
that-
it.
They have that?
Yeah, if you talk about generic software like Windows and Word, and Microsoft
I think they
Office,
might have like Photoshop or some other type of stuff. Okay.
a lot of time they have it. You just have to give them, I'll give you permission to give your assistant your login to do that. Yeah. But no, they don't have that software because they can't buy it anywhere other than your own account. So like you have my permission to give them access to your e-course area so they can watch it and learn it. Tell them to like flowchart it out because it tells you how much they understand it. So like, you know, every time someone's learning my course new, they have to go, even though we already have everything flowcharts, they still have to do it themselves. So they can really like absorb it and pay attention to what they're learning.
Do you recommend we use separate virtual assistants for buyers versus sellers, or can we use the same?
Depending on your volume. Yeah, the question, good question. The question is, do I recommend, to have one for sellers, one for buyers? It depends on your volume. If you have a seller and they're not, you're not utilizing them 8 hours a day, then you might want to let them handle both sellers and buyers. So it really depends on your volume.
How do you track that they're doing their job? Like,
Right.
is there a way that they can call through phones that you can monitor online on the computer to see that they're working? Like, for example, those realtors that you have, what if they just say, cool, Tim's sending me $300 a week, I'll just continue doing my stuff, I'm
Right.
not going to do anything for him. How do you keep them accountable to see if they're productive?
You send Nick their way. He's Italian, right? No, we're talking about tracking next. Yeah, we track all of that, but we use Skype a lot. So Skype is a pretty big tracking tool for us too. So they can do skip tracing for you. Like, for those of you who are, in my apprentice program now, they are the one that's doing your accurate skip search. I'm not the one who's doing that. So they can do all of that. They can do all of that emails that I teach you how to do to build a buyers list. They can search through those ads and get phone numbers for you. So like all of those little, I don't think there's anything I taught you this weekend that they can't do other than be here in person. They can do telemarketing, so they can call for flex option. They can call for buyers. They can do your voice broadcast.
You have up there negotiate a contract, and so have you found them to be their level of negotiation? They're negotiating a price out for a purchase, or
it depends. It depends on the person. But yeah, we do have people who are very qualified to negotiate, where I feel totally comfortable that I don't even need to double check their offer to the seller. In the beginning, it wasn't that way. In the beginning, I let them do what I call pre-negotiations. So like they'll pre-negotiate it, and they'll tell the seller, well, let me pass this on to my boss to see if we can do this deal. So they negotiate from a third party. I always like to negotiate from a third party. It's much more powerful, because then they don't have to be the bad person. Their boss is the bad person.
right?
The boss said that we can't buy it for this amount. The boss said this doesn't meet our cash buying criteria.
Right.
Yeah, so blame it on the boss. So that way you can always come back. Okay? Like I said, they can do just about everything.